Hello and welcome back. Thank you for that applause. That's very kind. To PlayStation Live at E3. Now, for those of you who are watching this at home, my name is Holly and this is Rob.
Hi.
We're actually part of PlayStation Access, which is a YouTube channel that you could probably like, comment, and subscribe. Now, we do a lot of sort of reaction videos. We talk about the games we like. So we thought that's exactly what we would do here at PlayStation Live at E3.
I can't believe they've let us take over the stage, Holly.
I mean, they have no idea what's about to happen now that we're doing our thing. So we thought we'd talk about 6 games, 3 each, that we've seen while we've been here and why we think they're super exciting.
Yeah.
So we should probably, I mean, you should start, right?
I mean, for me, anyone who watches the channel will know that I'm massively excited for this game. Death Stranding, for me, just looks incredible. Like, I know everyone was like, oh, I still don't know what's going on, but I really like that sense of mystery.
Yes.
Visually, it looks incredible, like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. The environment's almost photorealistic. I mean, I could deliver things across lovely green fields for 50 hours and not know what's going on, and I would still be happy.
And you may be doing that.
Yeah, it is a beautiful-looking game. The actors they've got in that game are really, really high-quality caliber actors, and it's Hideo Kojima. It's going to be, there it is up on stage now. It's going to be mad, it's going to be beautiful, and I just can't wait to know more about it and to finally get my hands on it. Whenever that is going to be, who knows, but it looks incredible.
Yeah, so if you're a Kojima fan,
yes,
I'm a CD Projekt fan. I'm a big fan of The Witcher.
I mean, me too.
But I saw
you did.
Cyberpunk yesterday.
You should have said, Holly. You should have said you see. Oh, wait, you did. About 10 times.
I did, about 1,000 times. So very lucky, me and Nathan, again, PlayStation Access fans will know Nathan is a huge Witcher fan as well. So me and him, off we went to CD Projekt, and we sat down and we saw a 50-minute live gameplay demo.
5-0.
5-0.
That's cool.
Now, we've got like a reaction video live on our YouTube channel, and there has been some sort of reaction from the community because it is in first person. It's a first-person shooter. And at first, even I was a bit like, oh, because I'm a Witcher fan.
And that's a third person.
And that's a third person. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how I feel. And then it is so incredible. It is so packed. It is it is every sci-fi book, movie, comic, and game. Because it's all based off, obviously, of the tabletop.
Sure.
But it is everything visual that's ever come out of like dystopian sci-fi rolled into one sweet, sweet package. And the combat is, it's sick. It's I don't know how else to describe it. It's insane. The gunplay is wild. And you can we hacked into someone's brain. We took this bad guy down. So we took this cable out of our arm, plugged it into him, hacked his brain, which was connected to the other gang members. So then when we were attacking them, we then hacked in and we're like, right, we're going to make his gun jam. So he couldn't get his gun to fire. And then we pulled out the mantis blades and just went, hello. And he's there going, oh, my gun. And we're like.
But this is still like a massive RPG, right? I mean, it's a first-person shooter, but we're still talking huge, detailed CD Projekt Red RPG.
With character customization.
With character customization.
And you can pick your backstory. So your the big childhood, your childhood, the big life event that you had, and why you're in the city. And the city is 6 districts big. There's cars, there's motorbikes, and there's they said car destruction. So you can blow up cars and actually have combat in the cars as well.
So you've got full control over what your character looks like and what they're called and what they wear.
Yeah. Male or female as well. You can pick. The demo was, they played as V as a female when we saw the demo, but you could just pick either.
Sort of Commander Shepard Mass Effect style.
Yeah.
Create your own story, create your own character type of thing.
Actually, that's the reference I used. It was very much like ME2, I think it is, where it's just so do you remember who you left behind?
Yeah.
It's always Ashley. It's always Ashley.
I mean, poor Ashley. You could talk about Ghost. I'm going to talk about Ghost of Tsushima next. Yeah, you could talk about Cyberpunk for ages, but I'm going to talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
You've actually seen it, you did it on the stage here?
Yeah, I saw it on the stage here, and I saw a behind closed doors demo of it where they played through what you saw at the showcase, but in a slightly different way, which was very cool. Specifically, they had this special build of the game where you could pause it, and they showed us all the detail. And their 3 words that they want to use to describe the game are mud, blood, and steel.
Mud, blood, and steel.
And they were showing us Jin, who's the main character, like rolling around in the mud, and it accumulates on his clothes in real time. And as he, slices through enemies, the blood spatters on his sword, on his clothes, on his face, again in real time, and it just looks sensational. But what impressed me most about it was how it approaches combat, because samurai combat is obviously quite different to the regular style of swordplay we're used to seeing in video games.
Well, how we see samurais in video games.
Yeah,
normally
not
see
very
samurai
much.
swords, but we don't see traditional samurai combat.
Yeah, I mean, games like The Witcher, you're used to pressing the attack button and Geralt pirouetting around with this incredible balletic swordplay. In Ghost of Tsushima, it's very tense and still, and they face off against each other and waiting for the other one to move. And then when the combat happens, it's quick and it's sudden and it's over in the blink of an eye. And I just think it's an incredibly fresh thing that we haven't seen too much of in video games, and to have it looking as beautiful as it does as well. They mentioned how they were inspired by the old classic samurai movies, the movies of Kurosawa, and that duel you see at the end, where it's samurai on samurai. You've got this intense battle going on, and in the background it's the most beautiful natural backdrop, the sunlight coming through the clouds, the red leaves just blowing everywhere.
Maple leaves.
It's the most cinematic thing I've ever seen. It's just brilliant, and it looks amazing.
So moving on to talking about cinematic things you see, I actually saw Control. So at the conference, we saw just an announcement trailer, but I actually saw a live gameplay demo of Control.
This is the one with the telekinesis power.
Yeah,
right?
so this is the one coming from Remedy. So first of all, anyone who knows Remedy games, they're quite cinematic driven.
Yeah.
But they've actually said they're purposely making this more gameplay driven. So you play as Jesse, and you have just, not through choice, become the director of the Federal Bureau of Control.
Right.
And reality is being invaded by these creatures called the Hiss. Not great with my lisp, I know, I'm sorry. And you're in the Federal Bureau of Control, your HQ, and reality is just warping around you. In fact, this building is like your hub world, and as the way reality is shifting and the corridors are moving, that's actually a hub world.
Right.
Because each corridor, sometimes they take you out of the building and you're like, one point I was like in a motel room. And it's like a sandbox in that sense, because you can go down whatever path you can unlock. The telekinesis power, so she has this really cool gun, which you can actually, funnily enough, is playing now for the people who are here especially. So she has a really cool gun, but she has telekinesis powers. Think telekinesis from BioShock. That's like the best way for me to be able to get you to understand it. But we saw Shield, which is where she picks up the debris and it's shielding her, so the bullets from the enemies can't attack. And then we also saw Launch. Like I grabbed a clock off the wall and frisbeed it into the enemies. You can pick up you can find these relics, and you can fuse with the relics to get extra powers, like levitation. So then you can fly to the new, float over to the areas you couldn't access before.
This game's just come out of nowhere, and it sounds amazing.
We saw side quests. It was this guy. He's sat in this room, screaming for help, and you're like, "I'm so sorry. I'll be back. I'll be back." And he's like, "No, please don't go. Please don't go." And you're like, "I'm sorry. I promise I will come back." As you run off.
I'm never coming back.
It was the trailer. We didn't see loads in that trailer, but seeing it behind closed doors really, really got me excited. I really want to be able to share more on Control. Really
I'm excited now.
You should. You'd really enjoy it. It's very much a thing. And Jesse just seems very, very cool as a character as well.
Awesome. Well, the last game that I'm going to talk about is a game that I've just seen on the stage. You can't not talk about The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us was one of, if not my favorite games on PS3, that entire generation. It just looks like they've dialed everything up to 11.
But how? How do they have a magic power to do it?
I don't know how Naughty Dog continue to push the bar. Every single time they release a game, it's like, okay, it can't get any better than this. And then it just keeps on getting better. The performance capture at Naughty Dog has always been best in class. It just doesn't get any better. But in that trailer, like, the emotion you can see just in the tiny, subtle movements in Ellie's face, in her eyes, the way the muscles in her cheeks are moving. This is incredible in-game storytelling, as Naughty Dog are renowned for. And then the gameplay itself, it's that kind of tense, on-edge, brutal world of The Last of Us, again, just with everything ramped up to the next level. Like, Ellie is now a very accomplished survivor. This is 5 years after the events of The Last of Us, so Ellie is in her late teens now. And she knows what she's doing, you know? She's been in this post-apocalyptic world for a while now. Her combat abilities are very good, but also the world is still an incredibly dangerous place. So there's that constant struggle between you being a very capable fighter and the world just being full of awful people and infected people, and just the gameplay that we saw, it took me right back to the experience of playing The Last of Us, which was you're constantly on your edge of your seat in that game.
Sweaty palms.
Sweaty palms. You're always, like, what it feels like, you're always inches from death. But then there's always something you can do to get out of that situation. There's always an option you have, something to hide behind, a material you can get that you can craft to turn the tables and you know, get back at the enemy. And, I mean, we're seeing it now. It looks like it's an incredible stealth game. It's an incredible combat game. The environments are going to be bigger and more open. This is obviously the first Last of Us game we've seen on PS4, so technically they can do more with it. I mean, Naughty Dog have never disappointed.
I don't think
and they're clearly not going to disappoint this time. It's going to be a sensational game.
It really is. So I thought I'd wrap up then our sixth game, something a little bit different that I saw. It's actually an indie title. It's being published by Team 17, who the guys who do Worms and Overcooked.
Yeah.
My favorite games.
Overcooked.
It's called My Time at Portia. I love crafting games.
Yes.
Love a crafting game. Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, Dieland. If you've never played Dieland, get on the PlayStation Store. It's another indie crafting game that just needs more love.
Right.
Dragon Quest Builders. So My Time at Portia, it's a Kickstarter.
How many hours have you sunk into these types of games, Holly?
I could do so much with my life, but here we are playing Stardew Valley again on Vita. No, I really am actually. I really should try something else. But My Time at Portia is that same thing. It's that open world. It's crafting, gathering. You've got to try and build up your workshop. But there's dungeons, there's monsters. It's got, like, you can romance people, really like old school Harvest Moon style.
You can romance people.
You can romance people. And, you know how I love all that.
I know you like to do that in games a lot,
I
Holly.
want to do it in Anthem, so I've got to find another game. But, yeah, it's from the people that just love those beautiful, colorful worlds. Because sometimes, you need to have primary colors in your life as well. You still need that.
Something to chill out with.
Yeah, and it's that game you can pick up, and everybody has one of those games where you start playing, and then you're like, oh, there goes 8 hours.
Look at that, it's 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'll carry on playing now.
Birds are singing, I may as well.
Exactly.
And My Time at Portia really blew me away. It looked very, very simplistic in its art style, but there was just so much depth into what you can do. And the stuff, they are still adding stuff as well. She was telling me about horseback riding at one point, just being able to traverse the world.
It sounds like you could do everything in this game.
You really can. If you enjoy those crafting, gathering sort of games, the Harvest Moons. They said a lot of it was also based on Dark Cloud 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry, I should have said that at the beginning of your
Dark
face.
Chronicle in the UK.
Yes, sorry, I never know which audience I'm catering to when I'm at E3.
Dark Chronicle, Holly.
Dark Chronicle. Beta, not beta.
I love that game, Dark Chronicle. One of my favorites.
I know, I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but they said a lot of the inspiration came from that as well, in terms of how the crafting works.
Now I am super hyped.
Maybe you should play it as well.
Oh, maybe I should.
Maybe you should. Well, I suppose there you go. That is a regular PlayStation Access video, but live in front of an audience at E3.
That's a bit terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite scary, actually. But yeah, that is 6 games we've seen at E3 that we are super, super excited for. Please, I was going to say, please stay tuned to my YouTube channel, because that is
We're not on a YouTube channel right now.
No, but that is what I always say. And what do you say when you don't say stay tuned to my YouTube channel? Well, I suppose, actually, we're coming to the end of the day, aren't we?
Yep.
So we're going to be welcoming some friends back onto stage to say thank you very much for watching today. So please stay tuned, because we're going to be joined by some lovely people. So thank you very much for watching. And myself and Rob will see you soon, like really soon, like in just a few seconds.